Okay, just checking everything is working. Fantastic. We got it. Cool. Let's get the proceedings started. I've decided to join the popularity contest and turn my camera on. Because what kind of bastard would I be to leave you in a cold, johnny-less world without this beautiful face to keep to keep you all warm by the fire. Cool. Just gonna get the old chat loaded up because I have to do it on my phone. Creative twitching. There we go. All right. So if you're just joining us, we have a World Cup game. We have got Cooney Betty playing for Austria on Crab versus fucking not sure how I say this, but I'm gonna say Gazoy MP or just Gazoimp. Maybe it's onomatopoeic. Who knows? Not me. We can also pop the chat out. I don't know how to do that, Arash, but maybe you can instruct me after this video. But I will take that on board. Alright, we're going to quickly go through deck lists before jumping into the game. Cool, so we have Old Box Crab, interesting, Shirin Nishiyama, and not in vogue these days, despite still being quite a formidable stronghold, in my humble opinion. And then we have a Phoenix Splash. Okay, sweet. So this is a thematic deck. We've got all the Cooney boys and girls. Yeah, so Shigenja's actually now a pretty viable archetype out of a lot of decks now that Against the Waves is fair and balanced. What is this? Oh god, it's the 2 Fate Cancel. Right, well, you know, maybe it'll do something. Let's not shit in those cornflakes just yet. No Defender on it here, but lots and lots of stands. Alright, cool. Defense with Cooney is great. Okay, I will pop the chat then. Well, does that come up on the screen, Arash? Will everyone be able to see my chat on the screen if I do that? Nah, whatever, I'll do it at the fucking end. Anyway, this deck is Dragon Good stuff mid-range. It's imaginatively entitled New Phoenix deck. I like that. It has good cards in it. 3 consumed by 5 fires. This guy's definitely... That's a little excessive, but other than that, it all looks pretty normal. Anything spicy? Ooh, we've got a Magnificent Lighthouse there. And the rest all just seems like good cards you would want to play. This guy, sure. Alright, yeah. It's a deck. It's a Phoenix deck. So now we're going to go over to Jigoku. First of all, we're going to get the old ass word here. Worlds. Cool. It's worlds. Oh, sorry about that. Cool. Okay, and they've already started. That's fine. Well, we've missed the turn 1 Dynasty, and that is all good. I'm sharing my screen, Arash, so you know what, we'll figure this out at the end. I'm happy just to chat to you guys the way I've always done for now. Okay, so we see the Greek Phoenix, Gazoimp. Does anyone want to give me a pronunciation on this? Because otherwise I'm just going to change it every time. And he pokes in to defend the wall with military. That's really not great for him. Oof. Okay, Cooney Betty just plonked nice 4 stats in front of it. And Gazoimp, favourable grounds the Scholar home. Not a great conflict that. You have lost the Earth Ring, thus switching off your Scholar for the rest of the turn. And you've lost a card from Defend the Wall triggering. On the other hand, Really nice turn of events for Betty there, gotta say. Let's just see, is this all working? What do I even look like? Yeah, cool. How do you guys feel about the new addition of a camera window to my channel? Isn't that exciting? Just indulge my vanity, please, viewers at home. Okay, and we see that's that for that conflict. Everything that I just said comes to pass. He loses one of his 3 copies of Consumed by the 5 Fires, so it's not really, it doesn't really give a huge shit about that pick, but you know, could have gone better. What actually I don't know if I did see in that deck list was any Way of the Crab. So let me just quickly go over. I don't know. There is 2 Way of the Crabs and 1 Assassination. Ooh. Where's the fuck is my Jigoku tab? There we go. Let's move it to the rest of all my L5R stuff. Thank you. Lovely viewers at home. Alright. Interesting that we didn't see the Gallant Gal get bought. That is interesting. I mean, if I see Gallant Quartermaster, I'm buying fucking Gallant Quartermaster, you know what I mean? That card just doesn't even have like any text on it other than Get to Fate on it for me. Alright. Political Void. Risky Void here from Betty. I'm assuming that the Phoenix player is on display of power. Yep, there's 2 in the deck. And it's Seppuku Stato! Which it's actually kind of a lucky break, because now that Void Ring can't get display of power. But also, it's impossible to lose this conflict. In fact, or win this conflict, sorry. It's impossible to win this conflict. That's the main thing we can take away from this. Gotta remember what this person does. Right, well, he's definitely not passing on declaring a conflict, and he can safely go and poke at Defend the Wall now. And he's gone for the Void Ring. Yeah, the Secret Void row out of this deck is really nasty for Crab, I think. Probably nastier for Unicorn than Crab, but still nasty for Crab, because you have got Seppuku Stato and you have Korimori, which means that you have 2 provinces where it's going to be really fucking hard for you to win a conflict. I mean, it's a little easier on Crab at Korimori because they can put up some impressive political numbers, but Unicorn, Korimori, get fucked. It is just not happening. Same with Seppuku Stato. That's any deck that doesn't have IMS generally has a problem breaking Seppuku Stato. Okay, so Betty lets rip with the court games. And Gazomp responds in kind with an Ornate Fan. Phoenix player got a good position going into the next turn if he wins this Void Ring. Now, I actually don't own a Bong Arash. I just make little joints, really. But I've got all my paraphernalia surrounding me, which you're no doubt not at all surprised by. I've got loads of just random shit around. I've actually got this fucking fidget spinner as well. Check this out. I don't know how I obtained this. I've never spent money on it, one of these things. So, there you go. Losing a province, not worth losing a character. Don't quite understand the context of that comment. I feel like the One Fate Student Anatomy is a little risky for Betty here. I mean, you don't want to 2-fate it, I guess, because there is that sneaky one of Assassinate, which is just so good in open lists. Yeah, the one of Assassinate in open list probably does just as much work just existing in the deck as it does being in the player's hand. Okay, we see a little bit of a lucky break there. Betty hits Upholding Authority and triggers an airing. And that's it. Favor from the Ancient Master there. So Phoenix's cancels now online, and that's just probably going to stay with Phoenix the entire time now, if we're being honest. And it's 4 fate to 2 at the bottom of the turn, with Phoenix having a board and Crab not having a board. Okay. Whoopah! Oh shit, can't even do it. Whoopah! Fidget spinner! Yeah! Alright, there we go. Just keep you entertained in these slow bits. Forgot as well that chess clocks are a thing in this competition. The coveted 4th victory, timing out. Okay. I like that flop a lot for Crab. Crab got a way back in now. I mean, I'm assuming Phoenix is running 3 Cloud the Mines. Of course, because they're not bad. Witch Hunter. I think you could have put 3 Fate on that Witch Hunter and just bought the Gallant for 1. Like, I really think you want that Witch Hunter to just stick around even as a body. But you know what, I guess it's like slightly less important out of Crab. But still, I think I'd just be like, oof. And there's the Haughty Magistrate. That is a big buy in this matchup. That card is the bane of Crab. I actually kind of despise this card, but luckily it's not really seen huge amounts of play, because obviously Phoenix was shoved down the hole of the spell box for so long, and not having any Shigenja traits and bad stats and no synergy of the spell box, this card didn't see play. But now that everyone is back on Isawa Moriseido after Spellbox was turned into a fair stronghold, now this guy started to creep back into the meta. You're surprised at only 2 Fate on the Haughty? Yeah, I am as well, Zazu. I mean, you can basically just fucking piggyback to victory on this guy if you're Phoenix. And Crab need to be able to basically kill it, wipe it off the board. You know, I doubt they're on. Oh yeah, alright, okay. 2 Cloud the Mind, and the worst thing is, of course, Betty lost her student last turn, which is the natural defense to this thing. We see 2 5 bids. A hefty Fate lead now from Gazoimp. You've got to wonder if he's just gonna blow out with the 5 fires at any point in this game. We've seen 1 go, he's got 2 more left in the deck. And Betty starting off the proceedings with what looks like a political poke on water, and that's just going to get chump blocked by the Solemn Scholar. I think I actually would have liked to have seen a military with a Witch Hunter, and I see this line. You know, it's unfortunate you have to go first here, but you know, that's the line. It's not as efficient as if you were going second, but whatever. Okay, so water doesn't do anything. It is blocked. And now we are going to see an attack, probably from this Haughty Magistrate. And they can go safely on to defend the wall. Now, there is an interesting, going back to the subject of 5 fires real quickly, there's a little bit of like baiting here with these censures, because can you bet it is one of this card, which pretty much sucks unless you're trading up to cancel to consume by 5 fires. Then I guess this is like kind of reasonable. So Gazoin is going to have to watch out for that little ×1 on the 5 fires, which is pretty much exclusively what I'd be saving it for if I was Kunibeti. I really do like open list L5R. It's a very different game. Closed list L5R, it's a lot of calculating odds, a lot of doing your opponent's deck construction in your head as the game plays. It's just a lot of extra information that you need to be aware of. Open list, you're able to kind of like minimize that a little bit and I guess really focus on long-term strategy. Like, how is your deck going to be the other person's? How can you leverage small tactical advantages when you have good information? I agree with you, LGB. 3/5 fires is overkill. 2 is generally what's run, from what I understand. But you know, in this particular instance, it's not the worst. If you got 3, it means you are going to pretty much always have a copy of it in your hand. We have seen 1 discarded, but like, the odds are still there for a second. LGB, ladies and gentlemen, the most attractive human being I've ever met in my life. A lot of postulating here. Kunibeti does not decide to defend the Earth Ring. We see favourable ground to bring in the Scholar. So I think we're going to see against the waves here to stand the Scholar. Yes, that's exactly what's happening. Okay. So the one advantage that Betty has right now is that she is up on cards quite considerably, which is a nice position to be in versus Phoenix. Phoenix is like, I don't know, the way, maybe this isn't correct, I don't really play them. I actually kind of hate everything about Phoenix. I think their theme is weak, but anyway. Yeah, they're card hungry, aren't they? They're a kind of gassy faction. Okay, we see another court games come down, and unfortunately, because the Scholar already has a Dishonor token on it, the Magistrate's just going to eat that. I like that. I like that play. You're now forcing another card here. We see Clarity of Purpose. That's not going to be enough to break. Ooh, you better hope he's got a stat pump here. You better hope he's got a stat pump. He doesn't. He doesn't have a stat pump. And Betty loses a fight on from her hand there. That could have gone worse. Is my theory there. And now that Haughty Magistrate is dishonoured, IMS, a bit of a double-edged sword here on the Magistrate. So I feel like the trap here is going fire, and you really want to go void. But capitalism prevails, as it always does, and we see fire getting selected. What do you think, viewers at home? Would you have gone fire here? Text in to our 24-hour hotline to submit your answer. Calls cost $3 per minute. US, not Canadian. That currency is worthless. Overwhelming feedback of void from one person so far. It's not really overwhelming. Not really overwhelming at all. That underwhelming, if anything. Okay, so Betty continues to sort of just crash headfirst into this fairly toxic row. I buy things of Canadian currency, Adorai, because I live in Canada, where it is the way that you obtain things through the medium of purchase. Yeah, okay. I see the denying fire here, but I also definitely don't want my witch hunter to lose a fate. I feel like the haughty magistrate losing a fate is much more important than the witch hunter losing it. Cool. All right, we see the fucking witch hunter go down now to the solemn scholar bow after the banzai. So, are we going to see Witch Hunter action itself to stand back up? I'm actually totally fine with that, as long as Betty's got a second fight on, which isn't out of the realms of plausibility. She is on 3. She is on 3. Yeah, there's probably not a huge amount in it of fire versus void here, but I would like. I think protecting yourself from the void is a bit more important than stopping the magistrate. Like, firing offers a temporary solution, of denying the firing to the magistrate, but really you just want to, like, kill this magistrate. You really just want this fucking. Oh, damn! And there's the assassinate. And there's an appeal to sympathy on the censure, which I don't like, but it works. Okay. That is, I guess, that is a positive result there. Your shameful display is broken. Maybe Betty just did what she had to do there to get that out of there. All right, so man, like, this is why you got to be running Defend Your Honor in your crab decks. I mean, Betty was 8-4 there. And I just can't help but wonder if, like, cutting some of these less good cards for Defend Your Honor would be good. Oh shit, sir! Never mind that fucking nonsense, because Tadaka is here now. Okay, here we are. Here we go now. Okay, so appeal to sympathy, cancelled the cancel, and put the cancel back on top of Gazoimp's deck. And Gazoimp actually forced to hang back with the magistrate to keep favour. Not even fucking doesn't want to take the Tadaka hit. And all of a sudden, this game is a lot closer. A lot closer indeed. Oh, that Eugenia is going to cause problems, though. Betty does have Cloud the Mine online with Tadaka. Yeah, the firing now a lot better. Yeah. Okay, the line is revealed. I always say to the players here, if they watch back over the VODs, go easy on us, spectators and commentators, because we don't have the information you have, so we're left scrambling to try and put your mysterious plays together. Yeah, Yusuke is fucking hot here. That is some sexy shit. I'm just gonna, if I'm Betty, I'm just buying both of 2 Fate, and then I'm probably just bidding 1 for the rest of the game. Lol. And just grind this Phoenix deck out. Make them come to you. You've got the box. Yeah, 100%. The line is both Yusuke and drop bids to 1. That's definitely, or maybe not drop it to 1 this turn. Maybe you go a 2 just to get the extra card. But you definitely want to be thinking about dropping those bids. Phoenix plays Eugenia. And this guy's bad news, as he can basically double void one fake characters. Oh yeah, that's also true. Zarzaki pointing out that if you do 2 fate the Yasuki, 5 fires. 5 fires. So Kuni Betty wisely has already identified that line and does not pursue it. And Phoenix just goes nuts out on the table and buys his entire row and goes into the next turn on 3 fate. Okay, so we actually see a 1 to 3 bid, but not the way around you would expect. Betty down to 4 on her now. No 5 fires. 5 fires now bad value. Would have been very good value with the second Yasuki, but alas. And more to the point, no 5 fires because he spent all his fate. That's actually kind of good news. Means that maybe Betty can get a little loose with the buying next turn. Lots of fate now. We see military against defend the wall. We're gonna probably see Tadaka defend and make Betty use box. Sorry, not Betty. Gazoimp use box. I'd like to see Tadaka defend here. I'd really like to see Tadaka defend here. I wanna. You got favourable ground to take him out if you need to. Not that I absolutely love that idea. Betty really has to have a cloud the mind here. And I don't even know if that's going to cut the mustard because there's 3 let goes in the other deck. So I think this Tadaka is actually just going to leave play. But you definitely want to try and get its action off. Four random cards. You want to be looking for let goes for sure if one pops up. You know the one card he drew was the Censure, which is pretty funny. Yeah, and we do indeed see let go discarded there. So we see Sado on the Haughty Magistrate, and if Betty has a Cloud the Mind here, she has to play it. I don't like that mountain. This is really very bad if Eugenia is allowed to do his thing. Oh, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. Reprieve is going to save this Tadaka from horrible voidy oblivion. Interesting. We see the second let go, discard a Reprieve. Is this a master game of baiting? Is this a master bait that we see here? I mean, if that Reprieve was bait, that is pretty masterful. Doesn't matter, it's a second Reprieve. I actually don't think Betty does have a Cloud Zarzaki. The way that this is... Let's go. It'd be really sick if the Cloud did pop up though. Really sick. You are just like, you are fucking ahead. You are so ahead if you have Cloud here. Because then you can trigger Defend the Wall, get rid of the Magistrate with the Force trigger on Eugenia. Oh no, because he's got the nub in here, the Solemn Scholar. Still, you make him lose a character. But alas, the Cloud was not there. Tadaka does not leave the game. He is in play, so that's a little rough. That costs 2 reprieves to keep the Tadaka in, but in all honesty, losing the Tadaka is probably just going to be good game for you if you don't have a conflict that he can do something in and create some kind of lasting damage. I think Betty now has to go for Korimori, which is awful, because upholding authority is also awful. The last thing you want to do is give your opponent perfect hand knowledge when you can't draw any more cards. I mean, she is going to actually have to break this eventually, but it's probably going to have to be the last thing she breaks. I don't know. What do you think, guys? What do you guys think about attacking political with both here against what you know is Korimori, and then just seeing what he does, and you've got that favourable ground on your row to do something? Okay, so she's going water to take it off the table, to bow the scholar, and to get a keeper. Nothing wrong with that. And she's poking the upholding authority again. She does not want to go against Korimori. I need to see if this crab deck is running Watch Commander. 3. We have seen 2 let goes from the Phoenix now. 1 discarded to Tadaka, 1 on a reprieve. There is actually a way back for Betty into this game, though. If she can win a Void Ring next turn, she's in a very good position. But that is a big if. Did we see any conflict characters in that crab deck? 2 skirmishers and Tadaka, of course. Okay, she gets the Water Ring and gets the Keeper and bows the Scholar. And we are going to see a double Ujina here. Taking no prisoners, likely looking to remove the Keeper from the game. Interesting. There's a bit of dual pressure going on here with the Honor and whatnot. Chess clocks are not super even. I just got raided, yo! What up? What up, various Swedish contingents? How you doing? Welcome to the party. We have a fairly tense game going on here that is sort of slowly sliding in favour of Phoenix because of this this dynasty phase they just had this turn. Manicured Garden revealed. It's fed up of poking defend the wall. Gazump blocks for Betty blocks for 4 here, 4v4 with the option to boost Stronghold. Which you're probably just going to use straight away to force a card. Or not. Now, I'm sensing there's going to be against the waves from both potential parties here. Forced reaction, so the Tadaka's now gone, but that's fine because that Tadaka was likely not sticking around anyway. Has denied actually funeral pyre there. But that's, I think, the only disadvantage, unless Cooney was holding on to a third reprieve, which I don't think she was because she probably would have played it. You RFG? What does RFG stand for? Zarzakit. I don't speak L5R lingo that well anymore. I'm like an old man in this game now. Iron Mine and the big boy Yuri on the row. Yeah, I'm just buying. I'm still. You can't. You know, it is kind of scary about the 5 fires, but I think you kind of just have to go for it here. I think you need to like splash out on this Yuri. Like, you're just super fucking dead if you don't buy this Yuri. And now you can buy the Yuri just fine. It's not going to get 5 fires for at least another turn. So Kune going to cause some real issues here. You know, no, Betty, you had to buy that Yuri. You had to buy that. Oh, you're breaking my heart, Betty. You cannot. Well, the only explanation is there's a Tadaka in hand, and she's prioritized the Tadaka over the Yuri. So let's hope that's the case. And I actually think you kind of want to try and win this Void Ring. What would be really sick right now is a Skirmisher and Tadaka. That would be the right kind of dopeness. You can kind of play around this keeper getting Eugena'd by funeral pyring it. It doesn't matter if one Tadaka is removed from the game. It doesn't mean you can't play other copies of Tadaka. It's just that copy is removed from the game, so it won't get shuffled back in. Okay, so we'll see the poke on Sanpuku Seido. Betty just going for fate here. No intention of actually winning this airing. Doesn't really super care. That's what I would have done, Zarzakit. I would 100% poke the void there. And I would have just tried to break Sanpuku Seido. If that was the line, I think that's a really sweet line, actually. Yeah, you lose a keeper, but you break Sanpuku Seido, which means you don't have to go to Korimori, and then your game plan gets way easier. Or, alternatively, blocks, you pyre the keeper, and the magistrate eats a dick. So those are both really good options, but the Ring of Capitalism, the allure of the Ring of Capitalism is too strong for some. I mean, Betty is now sat on 12 fate here. Oof, and this Void Ring is just a going. We've got Phoenix Exploring here. No, it was 10 fate up to 12 actually, Adorai. The airing had 2 fate on it. Okay, so it's the Water Province now, which is going to be doing sweet fuck all, except giving Betty a +1 when she switches the stats of one of her Yasukis. It looks like Betty is digging away for that cloud. This is a really important conflict to get a cloud in, and it is going to really potentially decide the fate of the game here. Banzai there. So if you can get a cloud on this magistrate and then beat it, you have a chance to win, because you will claim the void ring and not eat the double void, and this magistrate will go away. Yeah, no Shigendra in play, but we have to assume that there's a Tadaka in hand. Oh my god, and there isn't. There is not a Tadaka in hand. This is brutal. The Yasuki gets pasted there. I'm not quite sure what Betty's line was. Maybe it was just dig for the cloud and pray. And that is... yeah, I mean, if that's all you can do, that's all you can do. I really think you had to go void first turn here. I really think you had to go void first conflict, because now you've lost complete control of the turn, and you're subject to the whims of this really horrible Phoenix board. I have no idea what could be in Betty's hand. We are not seeing any cards played here. Something that I've seen happen in L5R quite a lot, and I've definitely been guilty of this myself, is you get into this conservative way of playing, and it goes a bit too far. You get a little bit too conservative, and you basically just don't invest the resources you need to into conflicts, because you're always kind of waiting for that thing that you'll really need it for, and then you sort of slowly just lose because you didn't play to win. Like, not buying this Yori if you don't have Tadaka in hand it's a big mistake, I think. If you're gambling on drawing into Tadaka when you have a Yori here, then you have to... like that gamble's bad. You have to just play what you have. You play what you see, right? Yeah. Well, you know what? Like some of those, this thing being a forced reaction, that line can be a little bit. It's not an obvious line. Like you have to have played against this card a reasonable amount to be like, oh yeah, true, I can turn its effect against it. We've got a big unopposed Earth Ring coming in to break the Yori away, and it is looking like it's trouble for Betty now, because this Sukune is going to trigger Void again at the end of the turn, and I guess Fire? Void and Fire, both really good rings to trigger. Air's fine, but like, do you really fucking care? You're not going to try Dishonor out here, you know. You can just quite happily just break the last few provinces with your huge honoured Sukune and superior Phoenix board. Yeah, I don't know, man. You know, I feel like, and this is as a crab player where Dishonor is actually a very real you know, it's a real strategy for us. Like, if you fucking tunnel vision into Dishonor when you don't need to, you can lose games. Like, it's always better to leverage Dishonor as a pressure than it is as an actual win condition, unless, of course, you're Scorpion and you can easily win that way. I don't think you need to try and Dishonor here at all. I just think you keep pressuring Dishonor and winning conflicts and breaking provinces. That's your route out. Okay, we do see Tadaka here. Dropped into the political. Really unfortunate. That Betty didn't have the cloud there. And then we see another Tadaka come down on the other side of the board. I don't know why, but sure. Okay, so Watch Commander now in play. Is there a way out here? We've seen 2 court games from Betty, so a third is unlikely. We're going to need to see double fan and box if that's the case. There is a double fan in the deck. And I have not seen one in the discard yet. Okay, so 5 cards revealed from Betty's hand. Gazoimp discarding at his leisure. And yeah, a rash. I agree with that assessment. Make an assessment. I can't stop playing with this fucking fidget spinner now. I should never have taken it out of the drawer. That was a grave mistake. It's me twiddling this thing all day. Okay, the time on the round is 47 minutes. Gazoimp having a big think here about which card he's going to discard. I'd say this game is now. Oh wow! She does have the double fan, and chooses to discard that. That's actually the correct play. That's actually the correct play there, because now, unless Betty has court games, which could be censured. Big dicks on the table. Jade Tetsubo coming down. This is huge. If this could be Betty's way back into the game here, knocking off this Sukune. A really, really big deal. This Tadaka is 9. This Sukune is 4. It's happening. Boom! Boom! 2 let goes down, and there's not a third for the Jade Tetsubo. Let's go out clubbing, says Betty. And the clubs are there. Alright, so Tadaka just fans up anyway to just to save the province. I think that's correct. Has Betty Tadaka'd this turn? No. I mean, I'm sure she won't forget. If there's anything, you know, your opponent's okay, she did forget. All right. That's a slight misplay there. Definitely wanted to Tadaka. She loses Way of the Crab, which is fine because it's never going to go off. It's never ever going to go off when your opponent has 3 censures, and almost 100% has 1 in hand. Okay, so Sukune will trigger Void and Fire as predicted, and Eugenia will take the honor, and this Yasuki's going away. Okay, so this game is a lot closer now. This is a lot closer. Betty can try and play for the long game here and try and grind this out. And that could work. If she's patient and she plays tight, she can definitely style this out. Cool, easy buy for Crab there. Lol, second Sukune, and Season of War for Gazoimp. So he's probably buying Sukune right off the bat again. Yeah, Clock is against Crab at this point, but I don't feel like you need to spend huge amounts of time processing through your movements. The pressure is kind of on Phoenix to lose this game now rather than Crab to win. And also, something going on here. I count a shitload of Greeks in the actual game, and it could really be a case of too many cooks spoil the broth here. If they're all chatting away on voice, I personally, I was actually just chatting about this to my team regarding coaching during games, and I think we all sort of agreed that advising of pitfalls and like errors that may be obvious to some but not others is good, but like backseat driving and discussing lines where not invited is generally bad. That was what we sort of came to the conclusion of. Oh, and absolutely no punitive. No, Betty, you know there's a censure there. Yeah, okay. And I did not like that way of the Crab. Did not like it. You 100% know it's there because you put the censure already played back on top of the deck. Interesting. One's all round. Obviously. Okay. You actually have a huge potential here to totally fuck Eugenia if he gets greedy and goes void, because you can funeral pyre the Shinsei disciple, and the third let go comes down on Jade Tetsubo. He found it. There you go. That's all three now. He is out of attachment control. Jade Tetsubo did its job. It got rid of 5 fate from the board, so you're pretty happy with that trade. I don't think it was bait, Zarzaki. I think that Betty maybe just forgot that he was holding a censure. I could be wrong though, and I often am. So let's find out. Okay, we see Honor Tadaka going against Defend the Wall against Dishonor Tadaka. Ha ha ha. Gazomp looking to secure that firing and honor his Sukune. He's really not Yeah, I mean you've got to use your Tadakas here as well. There's not a cloud on the mind here, right? Because this guy he's hit his Tadaka twice. Betty forgot hers last turn, which I don't even know how you managed to do when you've literally got an in-play reminder on the other side of the table. Fine Katana gets hit. That's big. Gazoink playing to win now rather than later, because Against the Waves is a decent choice to discard here. Oh no, wait, sorry, no it's not. Sorry, I thought Mountain was first card. Ignore me. And now we see Betty do her own Tadaka. Great. And she gets rid of Fine Katana. So they're each down a Katana. I'm not sure I would have chosen Katana out of that. I think I would have probably gone with maybe Katana is actually the correct choice. Against the waves, always good. You know, stop this Tadaka from standing back up. I don't hate that. I was really agonising on whether to run Defend the Wall or UA in my crab deck. I'm pretty glad that I went with UA in the end. And Defend the Wall finally breaks. The Tadaka stays standing, but we are going to see an Against the Waves on Gazoimp's Tadaka. Maybe not. Maybe he doesn't even need to bother. Sukune is now 8-8 and not leaving play. I believe that was the only Jade Tetsubo. Yeah, just a sneaky one off there. Time is ticking. Yes, and that is definitely the right maneuver here to go void. This Eugene is basically just going to void itself away. You really don't care. So you might as well just defend this. Another Fate from the Secret Void. All right. Okay. We see a defense with Sukune. So is his plan to just eat the Tadakalos? Because that Eugenia effect is triggering. Has he realised that? Has he realised that's how it works? Because I definitely would have blocked with Eugenia. Because he's just lost his Eugenia now. That Eugenia's not doing anything. Eugenia very thematically falls into the abyss from his own ability. And we also know that Betty's got the Against the Waves in hand. We're going to see water to try and ready Tadaka. Go into the Manicured. We're going to see a second fight on here. And a second censure maybe. Okay, Betty does not defend. First action, fight on. And it works. Pass. Get the Fate. This Tadaka being a 4-4 compared to a 9-7 is weak. Yeah, I think Kazoim fucked up not swapping the ring with Korimori there. But we see the third break, and Really, it's going to be pretty hard to break this Kurimori. I don't actually think it's possible, based on the cards that are in both people's decks. Yeah, I actually legit think this is impossible. You have to actually go. You have to go for Senpuku Seido here, and you just win Tide on Glory. That's your line, right? Yes. Oh wait, this thing had 2 glory. Ah, never mind. Lol. Okay, I did not realize the box had been used on Tadaka. So that line, which would have been fucking sweet, was less sweet. Only leaving 1 ring on the table for Sukune, which is the best of a bad situation. Oh, Ancestral Shrine, so brutal here. Okay, so Earth and Void, is it? Yep, Earth and Void it is. Mate, Phoenix doing Phoenix things. What are you gonna do? That Shrine, brutal. Well, this is a pretty bad position here. A pretty bad position. We're at the bottom of turn 5, going into turn 6. Crab first player. And the flips are Lab, Kudaka, Mine. And the flips for Phoenix are Ujina and... Oh lol, okay, so Betty is just like, fuck that. And Seasons of War straight away. And that is a good Seasons for her. That is a good Seasons. And there is that second student of the anatomy, is that all important card for this matchup. Stopping the plethora of bullshit that Phoenix can throw against you. We see 2 Fate student and no Fate Gallant Quartermaster. And on the other side we see an IU student and the Acolyte of Koyan. Thank you, Tenerim. Yeah, Stronghold is the Kuni Wasteland, yeah. Yeah, it's been a slow bleed out for Betty in this game, I feel. It's been a bit of I don't know, I feel like there was a turn where the Dynasty buys were slightly mismanaged. I feel like this deck wants to have Tadaka and Yuri on the table at the same time. And then interesting things start happening. Cornucopia is a great word, as is plethora. Plethora? Is it a hard vowel sound on the O, or a soft one? Okay, and we are back to poking upholding authority, Ring of Capitalism. It's a 1-3. Denied. And we are under 10 minutes for both players here. Betty coming into 6 minutes 32 seconds, and Gazoimp just under 10 at 9:30. So it's been a slow, tough game to watch. Crab Stronghold will be the Kuni Wastelands, which is currently being sat on by Shiro Nishiyama. Okay. Gazoimp holding every card till he needs it. 17 on box at Cooney Wasteland, and I believe there is absolutely nothing Crab can do about that, and that's just sadly going to be GG. I could be wrong. We see Finger of Anatomy is on the student. We see Cloak of Night. Essentially, like, it doesn't really matter what the Cooney Wasteland's text is, because someone can do anything. Okay, so Caillou Forge is looking for a lab, I think. No, finds a pyre, not what you want. So we're going to need some rebuilds for a Cooney lab, and that's just not even doing anywhere close to the amount of defense you need. I count 10 from Betty if she has. Yeah, okay, it's game. When you're sacrificing your two-faced student, you are dunsies. Well, not to call it any earlier than his plight, but yeah, that's going to be it, I think. And that is indeed it. And there we have it. A hard-fought game there from both players. Tough matchup. That magistrate is the haughty magistrate on Phoenix's side. Just fucking horrible to go face against. Yeah, so I believe in this series that means that Greece is winning overwhelmingly. We have seen Gazoint play and we have seen Curlis play. Has anyone else played from Team Greece? I feel like there's been more than 2 games from Team Greece. I could be wrong. Someone out there, some avid World Cup fans, hit me up. Tell me what the score is. Anyone? Anyone know? Does anybody know? Well, let's refresh the page and see if that tells us anything. So I just got a big old no information here. Okay. God, my internet is not loving life. Longing for death. Okay, so she hasn't been updated, so I have no idea. Alright, so it's not overwhelming yet. It's a 2-0 to Greece in this series. So Team Greece always one of the tournament favourites in these competitions due to their loud, lust for life kind of persona and nature. Austria can still come back here. It's still open. They will need to win 4 games, but that's doable. And an early lead in a series in no way guarantees victory until that 4th game is well and truly put into place. So I will leave you for now, and I will be back over the course of this competition to bring you more on this wonderful competition as it unfolds. So, for the meantime, take care and goodbye.